We are live. Go ahead, Yan. Lead us off.
Oh, brothers, welcome. This is the forum. We're going to kick this off with a few topics, and hopefully it doesn't divulge into anything too crazy. But what did y'all do for? Hopefully you had a nice Cinco de Mayo. I did. I was working, and I also found out with all of this meat industry and meat packing stuff. Since we have to limit the number of meat that everybody purchases, um, that it's my fault that a woman has 7 children and therefore has to buy, more than two of each meat. So it's they people should get mad at me. Um, so that's something that I learned. Anybody have thoughts on that?
Go ahead.
Wow.
Synthetic meat is being encouraged. Yeah.
Well,
They've been actually
Yeah.
making cloned meat, so it's not like it really matters in the United States. So
Bro,
half the
there's
time you're
an
eating cloned meat any
there's
damn
an
way.
article by Ellen DeGeneres from Ellen DeGeneres' company, where they were talking about using dead human meat with artificial stem cells to grow basically human meat.
so explain this to me. How the hell
Wow.
is it your fault? How the hell is it your fault?
Well, because I'm selling I'm selling the product, and they have since I have to limit the product, it's my fault that
They mad
made
because
all
he's
the
got the
decisions.
meats.
Yeah, they made all of the decision to have 7 children. I should take full responsibility for that.
So
Why
you
why
take
why would
what? You take full
You-
responsibility for them having fuck, for them popping out fuck, for them basically being bedroom fucking whores, right?
yeah,
You're a very naughty, naughty boy.
no tea. Yeah, it's just that's kind of the thread or the train of thought that I've been on, because when I'm at work, that's like literally all I think about, and it's what I need to think about in order to focus on my job, because there's just so much fuckery going on at my job. Like, it's just
So you gotta
there's
take it upon yourself because a
yeah.
bunch of irresponsible ass adults can't keep their fucking junk in their pants, right?
Oh yeah, it's gotten so crazy now. I mean, like, I don't even know. I mean, I'm on obviously I understand certain families. Like, I had an Australian family that I served yesterday. They were so nice. I was only like 4 of them. They spent like $300-400 or whatever. But then that family of 7 or whatever, they ended up spending like $500 to $600. It's like, how does somebody spend that much money just at a like picking up groceries? That's just like crazy.
I have no idea.
Inflation, bro. Inflation.
They should have swallowed.
You guys
At
don't
least
shop at
five-
Costco, do
at
you?
least 5 of those times.
There's no
No, I
Tesco's
feel like
here. There's no
Costco is like a
Tesco's here.
whole nother animal. Like, honestly, Costco is like you're dealing with a whole nother beast.
There's no Costco's here. They only have Woolworths.
What's it
Manny,
called?
Manny
So give
said
me-
what? Manny said he's back.
Manny in them house. What up, Manny? So
Yeah,
Costco is
yeah.
a whole different animal. So when you go, I've gone to Costco, literally in Miami, okay? And I've watched after, I want to say January 4th or 5th. I want to say about January 6th, around there, right? If you go into any Costco around January 6th, anywhere in the greater Miami area, here's what you're going to see. You're going to see all them rich folks that live all up and down the coast bringing back unopened bottles of wine, unopened bottles of booze and shit like that. What do? They stock up their bar so they look like they got a ton of shit when people come over. Nobody drinks any of it. It's just for show, and then they take it right back. They do the same thing with meats. They do the same thing with fucking furniture and everything else. Costco is a different animal. That's all I gotta say.
Mm-hmm. True story.
So why the hell buy it if you're not gonna fucking drink it and take it back? What is that? It doesn't make any sense.
Very
It's for
simple,
show.
Wind.
It's for
It's
show.
for show. So, and one of you may be saying, well, why is he bringing up Costco? What does this have to do with Red Pill, MiGTOW, and everything like that, right? Well, it goes right back to monkey branching, image, and everything like that. Here's the thing: on a beggar's dime, you living in front of, maybe let me give you a good one: North Miami Beach. You're living in North Miami Beach. Maybe you have an apartment. Maybe you inherited it or whatever. You don't have that much money, but you need to, show the prospective mate of yours or their family or whatever that you've got, something. Well, what do? You don't have to spend a whole lot of money. You just go to Costco, or anywhere else. I'm not going to endorse Costco on this one because they do it at Sam's, they do it at Walmart, they do it fucking everywhere that you can return shit. They basically dress up their apartment for their parties, full bar, like how much does it take to stock up a full bar? Shit, man.
Yeah,
if you got Patron,
are
you kidding me?
The alcohol,
we're talking,
the alcohol is like marked
dude,
up. It's marked up and on sale that like nowadays. And
if you stock up a full bar,
yeah.
you're looking at around $2,000-$3,000 at least.
Oh,
if you're trying to impress somebody, you're spending about $4 or $5.
Yeah. But if you go to Costco's, you could pretty much cut that cost in half and buy like 1 or 2 good bottles of wine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. You could buy the whole stack, and then on 5th or 6th, you take it back.
Yeah.
Actually, I was on Kingy's channel yesterday, and apparently he bought gas. I think it was for a lawnmower or for his car for under $2.
Yeah, that's in a lot of states now.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, that's insane.
Oil is bottoming out right now because of all this shit.
Cleveland, Pennsylvania. Ohio, Pennsylvania, places like that. You can actually get gas for under $2. In Florida right now.
This is the best time.
That is so funny. I'm gonna need to move, honestly. Yeah, best time to do a road trip, right? You just gotta have a good.
West Virginia too.
Has anybody ever been a road trip and not in a semi, but like what are vehicles that you guys have used?
Toyota.
I've used a freaking Jeep Wrangler, Prius, fucking pickup truck.
Yeah. Is size more your guys' concern, or is like fuel efficiency?
Fuel efficiency and comfort.
Fuel efficiency and comfort. Yeah.
Comfort.
Yeah.
Toyota.
Because like I like to take a lot of stuff because like if I wanna go hiking or if I wanna get something get something going like in terms of like
you don't want to keep buying shit everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's some benefits to doing that with a smaller car. But like, yeah, you stop way too much and you don't really get to. You're still spending too much time, like walking into fucking buildings with just a bunch of just female infested environments and shit.
Well, no, not really, because if you own a Toyota, you can pretty much go anywhere. Like you can literally go from Pennsylvania to Florida on only on 4 stops of gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
Only needing 4 stops. Only needing to stop 4 times for gasoline if you really try. Like in a Toyota, we'll say Yaris, which is a small car. It probably only carries about 11 gallons of gasoline, give or take. It's 11.9 gallons of gasoline. That's what it holds. You can literally do a trip. You can literally do like a whole entire trip on only like 4 stops. Sometimes 3, depending on traffic and if it's flowing freely.
Hey, I gotta go for a second. I'll be right back. I gotta make a phone call.
Okay.
All right.
10-4.
But yeah, it's just stuff like that. So you can literally do it on three to four stops of gasoline in a Toyota Prius. I mean Toyota Yaris. If you do it in a Prius, you can pretty much go a lot longer. If you do it in a Camry, I think it's 3 stops 3 stops, 4.5, 3 stops.
I've done road trips in luxury
To be honest,
cars. I've done road
yeah.
trips in small cars. I've done road trips on a motorcycle. I did
When
a
you're
road
saying
trip
cross
on a
country,
road bike.
sorry, Tico, you're saying
Yeah.
cross country,
Oh,
4
that's
stops.
I'm just saying if you're going from Pennsylvania to Florida, to
Oh,
Tampa,
to Florida.
Florida.
Got it.
Like which
Got
is a nice distance. It's just about what, like 900 to a couple 900 to 1200
Well, those
900
4
to
stops are
1200.
actually good. But if you're going to like from like California to the middle of the country, it's like your 4 stops are like all desert, and then and then you get well,
Yeah, and
like
the
the
sad part,
elevation.
the thing I noticed about Toyotas is they last a lot longer when it comes to that type of stuff, especially if they're diesel ones. Oh, especially if they're diesel as hell. Their diesel vehicles, they go a lot further. So, like I would say, if you're going to do a road trip, definitely take a diesel vehicle. But if you can't afford a diesel vehicle, or if they don't got one in their lines, I would just take a Toyota.
Mm-hmm.
Reliability is better too. You don't
Yeah,
want to get stuck in the
reliability's
middle of
better.
nowhere.
You ain't got to worry about that too much. It's light.
The most fun would be in a
They're
convertible.
lightweight. Oh yeah, they're very lightweight. So like they're made very sturdy and they're made very lightweight. And even though they say their crash ratings are, even though they might say like a Toyota Yaris's crash rating is very low, let's just put it this way: a guy ran me off the road in a pickup truck in a Toyota Yaris, and it actually literally saved my life. And there was a tree coming through my window.
Mm.
So in a car crashed right into the thing. Car crashed right into a tree, and I was stuck between 2 trees. And if it wasn't for those 2 trees, if the car was a little bit bigger, I'd have probably been over the hillside. Even with the tree through my window.
Yeah. So you're saying wait? Did you say Corolla double R?
No, Corolla. No, I said Yaris. But Corollas are really good too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Toyota.
And they got a lot of
like
legroom. They got a shit ton of legroom too.
Yeah,
Back seat and
there's
front
a
seat.
funny joke about Toyota. It's like keep moving forward was their slogan. It's like keep moving forward, even when you press on the brakes.
Dude, you're right about that legroom. It's funny. Out of all the cars that I've rented, the Toyotas are the only ones that I fit properly into because I'm a tall guy. I don't like small cars, but Yaris's are quite comfortable, and so are Priuses.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so are Camrys. Camrys are my favorite.
Yeah, Camry. If you got a Corolla, a Camry, anything from their line, you're pretty much living high on a hog because you got all that fucking space in there. And like you got vehicles that are made in America, like your regular Chevys and Fords. Like you barely got any fucking leg room in the back seat.
And your head hits the damn roof.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like there's got a lot of room in them.
And I'm on Manny's topic. I kind of would like. So I said that but there's a cost to everything. It's a trade off to everything. Yeah, like you saying, like the gas is cheap, which I mean it's a great time for a road trip. But if you go certain places in the wherever it is that you're at in the construct, you'll notice that like things are not looking good for certain people. And like I was saying, the people with big families and stuff, as a result of this meat packing thing, they need to constantly drive out every day to get supplies. They can't just buy in bulk like they are used to. And what I've seen is like 2 things. Partially, it's like I used to have to red pill people, but now the environment red pills people. Like it just tells them straight up and down, like you can't do this anymore. And it's like you can't act in the way that you were acting in the blue pill world. And what's funny is like something else that I noticed instead of as opposed to women, not taking responsibility, which was kind of like the thread of last night's conversation. I just noticed like they just be real dramatic when they don't, instead of like coming up with a solution to a problem, they're just like or like they just like that's like a common utterance from women nowadays. Like they just like try to make a loud grunting or like mating call or something. I think it's a mating call.
There's a
To be
famous
honest.
saying for that.
Yeah.
If you cannot beat them, confuse them.
Mm-hmm.
Just
If you
saying.
can't beat them,
Yeah.
if you can't beat
troll
them,
them.
make them suffer.
Troll them.
Yeah, man. And okay, so but then so that's one thing. So like, yeah, we could let's put that on the pot real quick. And at the same time, like, even though all this serious shit is going around, somehow men are still supposed to be the entertainment section of a woman's day. You know, oh, I get my food from here. I get my emotional tamponing from Tyrone, and I get my my play with my food from Yam. And I'm like, I ain't playing that shit. Get your ass out of here. And I literally have had to tell somebody, bad so and so. No, bad. Like they're a freaking dog. Like I literally have to like scold them.
I mind fuck them. I tell them that I'm sorry, I have an autistic diagnosis, or I just say like, look, sorry, I just passed gas. It's gonna really stink, and I give them an excuse to leave.
Well, one thing I wanted to tell MiGTOW one thing I wanted to tell Wind is like the creepy thing doesn't work as a repellent. Creepiness actually draws women in and makes them more interested in you. You have to do the Jaguar shuffle. You have to do the Jaguar shuffle. And
I pretend to zone out.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I do. Oh my God. So like when you said, I think it was 6 months ago, Jaguar, you're like, you could sit, or you could try to hit, because I was talking about hitting on the barista, and like how all these people in the suits with their fancy non-essential jobs would come in and try to hit on the girl at Starbucks. And you told me something that day that like stuck with me all the way up until today. And you said, instead of doing that, you could just sit at the table and look out the window and contemplate life and like a boss, and stir your tea like a boss. And so what I did, like a boss, and what I did is like, so now I buy this huge 24, I think it's like a half or a liter, or no, it's like a liter and a half of like aloe vera juice or whatever. And I just, anytime I feel like that weird blue pill simping that just emanates from, that like if enough women are in an environment, they kind of do this like subliminal chant thing that just makes you start to become blue pill. You just think about life. Like that's literally what I think about. I think about like, and it's weirdly philosophical, because it's like, if you were to go into somebody's mind and they're just thinking the word life over and over again, like it's just like focusing on the good life, that has helped me so much.
Nice. I'm glad to hear that. That's awesome,
dude. It's like almost like from the outside, you would think that I'm like determined to answer some great question in life, but what I'm doing is I'm just trying to zone out. Like I'm just thinking about, I'm not thinking about like what I'm going to do when I get home or something like that. I'm just thinking in the moment, like, what is life all about? And so when somebody's orbiting me, they're just like so confused. And if you act creepy, it doesn't deter them. Like if you act creepy, it draws them in. Yeah, like you have to almost pretend like you're just not. Yeah, you almost have to pretend like you're preoccupied with some like great question in life, some greater philosophical attitude. And
that's how I also handle those kinds of situations, man. Like,
yeah,
I know
because
I'm not Mr. High SMV, but I also know that I can play mind games with them, because remember, I used to almost be a bitch. Remember, I was on the hormones. I know how they think on a chemical level. And Yeah, they're just really social, man. They're totally drawn into energy that's different. Like, ooh, he's different.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's so interesting.
And
Ooh.
wasn't it AJ that said like yesterday? He's like a lot of them won't even say hi. They'll play
Correct.
they'll play the looks game, and then that gives me and so it's like it's funny because even a woman that's from America, but she was like maybe raised in a different country or something. She actually comes up and she says hey to me, or she'll give me a call, or she'll start a conversation, and
Ooh.
it's just like it just explodes out of the lineup of women or something. It's just like that's like miles beyond what most of the women would do, because most of the women would just be like, show your ass and then wait for you to come approach them. It's just so fucking insulting to my intelligence.
Drop an napkin or drop something on the floor, bend over and pick it up very slowly, so you can possibly see some cleavage on your ass.
Just like
yeah.
It's so
like, okay,
obvious.
I'm over here doing this, so then you're gonna come over here and do this at like I'm not gonna pick up on that and not going to read into that at all. And I think your Jaguar is on a good point. It's like you have to think like them in order to be able to combat the fuckery and the bullshit, basically.
Yeah.
Because if you don't think like them, then you just think like how a man thinks, and then your only option is to approach somebody that you're attracted to, as opposed to just zoning into your zen.
The sad part about that is a lot. The sad part about that is half the time you ain't got to think like them. You just got to outthink them.
Which is easy to do.
Yeah, it's very
easy to do.
do.
Except when you don't get their manipulation games, then they can one up you. But yeah, I totally zen out. Like seriously, when I'm being tempted, like sexually myself, I just think of like either what I want for my school that I want to create, or I think of like algorithms, or I think of laws of physics and how it applies to like the quantum and the supernatural realm and the physical realm. Like, oh, I think I unlocked the key to the universe right now.
Right?
And look at me like,
yes, that's the best way to do it, is divert your mind from that thought.
Divert your mind. Yeah, use your imagination.
Literally and figuratively.
Logic like Double I would say is logic will end up forcing you into a position where you have to where you're incentivized to follow a logical conclusion, follow a linear path where girl meets boy or boy meets girl, and then all of a sudden it's like before you know it, you're making some logical decision that's like jeopardizing your focus, as opposed to just being like what in life is really more interesting. It's almost like and like for all my monks out there, it's like this is all the stuff that Jaguar was talking about is basically stuff that you would think about when you're like having sex, to like not focus on it, or like to like it's kind of like the cliche things that you think about to like last longer or whatever. And MiGTOW in the wind is double, and now he's back to normal. But yeah, but like the kind of stuff you think about, they say like think about baseball, or think about this, or think about like something. It's like almost like you have to think about that now, not even having sex, because otherwise you'll fall to the mind games. Y'all's thoughts?
I do have one more thought on that. And I would say mentally deconstruct them. Mentally deconstruct them. Every single aspect of them that you can. If you can mentally pull them apart, even as to the minute point of an atom.
And let me make an announcement before you finish that. So Susan would just, you won't be saying we trying to pull apart women physically and literally. We don't mean that literally. We mean that on a psychological and metaphysical level, basically. We're not
psychological level, not literal.
We're not talking about like actually dissecting people for real. We're not talking about like dissecting frogs. We're talking about like mentally and emotionally, basically.
We don't advocate for the Hillary Clinton approach here.
Yeah, no, we don't. We don't take the abortion approach at all.
No.
But Yeah,
But
like
that
mentally,
goes,
if you can pull them
yeah,
apart, it's like you see them from a level that's above humanity, as godlike as it sounds and as crazy as that sounds. When you can get
yeah,
that
and
universal mindset, you're not touchable at all.
Yeah. Shit, I have that all the damn time when I walk
That
into work.
mentally,
Shit.
you are like almost outside of your body, analyzing them from like the cosmos down. That's the kind of power I'm talking
they'll
about.
say things like "Oh, you're so good at hiding your emotions, but so and so, or but this and that," and it's like, I mean, first off, it's good if you're good at hiding your emotions. It's never a bad thing because they want men to be all sensitive and soft and like open. When in reality, it's like you need to. Most of the shit, the emotionally that you express to other people, should never have been. They should never like. There's so many times where I wish I would have uh never saw that, and it's kind of like Blind Assassin on last night's show. It's like you done seen some shit when you have that MiGTOW 1,000 yard stare because you like
Yeah.
there's some shit that you just like that you see that other people don't because you got your red pill goggles on and you're just like why did I see that why didn't anyone else notice that? And what's weird is like, yeah, what I was saying earlier, it's like you don't I was spending a lot of mental work trying to talk to people to try to like feel them out and canvas them for like, hey, would this person does this person need the red pill? And it's like a lot of them don't really need it because I'm not the one that's gonna red pill them, but I'm just like more in the observation mode.
Your
But it's
job
like
with the red
the
pill
world red
is to
pills
save
them.
yourself. Your job with the red pill is to save yourself. You can only offer it. It's up to them to take
Right.
it and to red pill themselves. But you
Yeah.
are
I don't want to be like
saved.
Mr. Smith. I don't want to just like stab somebody in the sternum and then my red pill knowledge just starts to like black goo just
All
like
right.
bubble up over them.
Think of
And then
it.
like
Think
all
of
of a
it like
sudden
this. Think of it like this. Why are the powers that be so damn successful at what they're doing? Because they blend in. They have their own means of communication
yeah,
to communicate to each other.
yeah.
They blend
Good
in.
comms.
They're not suspicious. They know how to control their energy or their energy fields, the conscious ones and the subconscious ones. Therefore, they're not likely to be manipulated because they are masters of every aspect of themselves and not just in
Yeah.
all areas of life. They are masters ultimately of their what they call their shadow self or the
Yeah.
subconscious self. And that's the thing with the red pill and your own nature.
Right.
Yes, you may have red pill knowledge, but red pill knowledge won't
Very well
stop
put.
you
It's
from
muddled. Sometimes it's
solving
muddy. Yeah.
solving your subconscious nature, especially your
Yeah.
relationship with your mother in Freudian
Right.
psychology.
Yeah.
Therefore, if you
No,
can
red pill
work with
knowledge
your
won't help
shadow
with that at all.
self in the dark behind the closed curtains, in the veil,
Yeah.
and you can master that, you are basically a monk in the sense that you are one within the self, conscious
Wow.
and subconscious. That's why shadow work is also important.
Yeah, because I realize a lot of people that have taken the red pill still don't have like the clarity that a lot of other people that I've met do. And it's like they're looking for some sort of like solution that they can't get unless they confront deeper, rooted psychological issues. And it starts,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
like it starts with the home. It starts with the demons and stuff that you like, because the whole like men and women thing is interesting because if you look at young people nowadays, like we're taught about relationships almost very too openly, but not thoroughly enough very early. So it's like we're not necessarily. It's weird because like when I was younger, when I moved to a different school system, a lot of the kids had already they like in their like second and third grade, they used to have these mock marriages where like certain kids in the class would become married to another kid and then like it was in like a completely just a completely romantic like pseudo romantic like fake scenario and
Mhm.
like I went there, I had no knowledge of that at all. I couldn't even relate to them at all. And so I was like, it's weird that when they like to hear all their stories, but it really ties into like the relationship dynamic where you're too young to be in a relationship. The first person you repress that idea onto is like your fellow mates, your friends and your male friends and stuff that you hang out with.
Correct.
And so you like expect a lot out of them, and then when you get older, you expect the women in your life to match that level of like brother dynamic, that intensity of emotion and loyalty and positive feedback loops and stuff like that, when like women's processes don't work nearly the same. And I think it's like that shadow work that you do produces a level of clarity that puts all that into perspective. And then you're not living a life of like high expectations. Your expectations are very stable, and you're able to navigate the world more fluid motion.
Well, also too, it teaches you to transmute that subconscious energy into higher level creative thoughts, like like imagination, for example. But this is not imagination that's erratic and focused only on play. This is imagination that is directed, purposeful, meaningful, and it transmutes your, like, it, as insane as it is to say, it transmutes your entire physical reality. At times, if you're so immersed in it, that's when you enter like God mode.
Yeah.
Audio
And that's the kind of stuff that like Napoleon Hill talks about, Nikola Tesla alludes to in some of his work. Like, it's interesting stuff, man. It's powerful. It's powerful. The lower,
it sure enough is.
The lower chakra, or the lower like groin energy, when you transmute that in sync with what's above, oh man, that's like next level.
And there's a tremendous amount of fear behind blocking us from that, because of the moral landscape, and because we have different platforms where people can stand on and sort of like cast a negative opinion onto a field where we don't really necessarily have a lot of knowledge. That's why we have taboo and the occult, but more taboo, like things that we can't necessarily talk about. And the red pill is sort of like exposes the inversions of different things like success, self-actualization, self-improvement, things that normally are recategorized and inverted and reoriented from like high and mighty person in the moral landscape. Because like all this stuff, how people were raised and how people grew up is all a matter of circumstance. So when you feel somebody casting down that negative opinion on you, you have to realize that they're coming from like a completely different place that doesn't apply to you at all.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, you also have agency to respond to that. How you respond to that is the onus that's on you, regardless of the energy that you're surrounded by. Even if it's a subconscious response.
Now, what we have here in this society is like anything that we do because it doesn't suit the narrative is negative. And anybody who we go against their narrative, their status quo with their bottom dollar. And it's like, first off, look at these pickup artists. Do you think these pickup artists aren't like the ones that aren't contributing to the people who are getting paid? No, they are. They don't. I mean, it's all. Let me start over. It's all about a lifestyle that people live.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifestyle that people live. that people don't want to give up. Like the pickup artists, they are willing to sell their souls to continue to have their lifestyle. And if MiGTOW, if going after MiGTOW is what gets them paid, they're going to go after us. Because we're hurting their bottom dollar. They're going to try every single tactic to try to get some of us, at least one or two of us, out of MiGTOW.
Because we're calling out their bullshit.
Because we're calling out.
And if they're not trying to get us to actually try to come over, they're basically trying to get us to stop preaching our message or try to. And the neat thing about that is the pickup artists know, because they're in the manosphere, how to manipulate other men. Because by doing what they do, by fucking with MiGTOW, they know that they can actually get them to not talk about their message for a whole entire day. And that's what they literally do. They'll manipulate MiGTOW literally out of actually speaking their message into like roasting them the whole entire day. That way they look like a fucking victim. And then you can say, look, see what I mean? They did exactly what I said they were going to do, basically. And they're negative and they're emotional and they're all this other stuff.
It's just
that's what they basically do.
You know, Tico.
Narcissistic PR.
You know, Tico. I'm glad you asked what I think of PUAs, because what I think is basically PUAs. They're going to sell you something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the other day when we said, what have you spent? I forgot who asked the question. I think it was Yam. What have you spent on a woman? And I said something like $10,000 because it was one trip and it was a vacation or whatever, but it was actually 5, blah, 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 whatever, because it's half and half. Right. But let's ask that question in a different way. What have you spent on finding a woman or a girl? So I want to ask that question.
Nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing. Exactly. Right. So how about you, Jaguar?
Nothing. Not even in my first.
How about you, Yam?
Relationships. No.
I spent several shell casings.
All right, you're different, Tico. Do we have to point that out every show? Damn. So going back to everybody else. So can we? How about
I was shooting a gun.
I just want to finish asking a question on the chat. Anybody in the chat?
Yeah.
Anybody spend anything on getting a woman? Anybody at all?
No.
Okay, so the consensus here in this chamber is no. You don't spend to go get a woman, right? All right, so that's logic. That's one piece of logic, right? So you don't spend because let's look at the array of men that are in this chat and on the live stream. We're all from different walks of life, right? So age range, everything is different here. So then we think to ourselves, you want to find success in finding a girl or something like that. First of all, here's one problem. You're spending money on finding the girl. That's one thing most of us don't do. So as far as getting a pickup artist, that's spending money on trying to get a girl. You see what I'm saying?
It's basically it's fueling. It's a negative feedback into your anxiety of maintaining a relationship. Not to like diss a person that I would be talking to as a guidance counselor, as a person, as a coach, as a dating coach. No, as a person. The more you focus on the pursuit of a woman, like you stop pursuing your own goals. Yes. And then once you get a woman that is attracted to your SMV, you have nothing to. You're the same. You're like it's like a lesbian relationship.
Yes,
because you're overly protective of her, in the sense that you cannot produce. You don't have the erect attitude of a man. You have more of like a more invaginated perspective that would lead to a more lesbian dynamic.
The Yam gets it. The Yam gets it.
The sad part about that is if you actually start overprotecting or starting to try to be a man who's protecting his woman or trying to be overprotective of your woman, you're basically mate guarding. And that's something that women do.
Yes.
That's literally something that women do.
Exactly. I had to understand that. Like, I mean, I never mate guarded because I didn't really. I just, like I said, that's how I find women. They start a conversation with me, and I say, "Wow, she actually started a conversation with me. Let's see how this pans out." But I don't go out of my way to set. I go out of my way for myself, set myself up in a situation where I'm happy with doing what I do. That's different. I don't count that as spending money to pursue a woman. I would consider that more like buying things or buying supplements or buying a car or buying anything to get attention. It's different. It's different, and then that I guess yeah, basically that puts you in a dynamic where you're you see other objects and people in the world as something to dominate and obtain or obtain power over, and
And
that's like something that's feminine, you know. It's like because that's what the woman uses is her senses to basically like acquire whereas like as a from a guy, it's like a lot of the stuff that I do in order to like maintain equilibrium is like very not absent-minded but almost like um premeditated or like um kind of like already tangible in terms of like my list of options for things to do.
and
um
I'm going to respond to
yeah
Mr. Foreman when he said you spend to keep and maintain a woman. You also spend to keep and maintain your car. You also spend to keep and maintain your home.
yeah
You also
yeah
spend to keep and maintain
Yes.
your business. You also
and he's
spend
right
and
too. Yeah, it's
you
like an
literally spend to
investment.
you spend to keep to maintain every damn thing in your fucking life. So at the end of the day, it's all about is what you're trying to if you're is what you're trying to actually keep and maintain worth it.
Like a lesbian woman, not to yeah again I'm not meaning to sound negative, but a lesbian woman will view a successful a catch of a woman as if they've actually done something, but they can't really invest the resources to avoid being vulgar into that woman in order to get that woman to stay invested in the relationship. It's almost like a yeah, like I guess like a 50-50 thing, but it's like if she doesn't view that as an investment, just as a trophy, then she's gonna fall victim to the same exact thing that that women do, which is like wow, it's like yeah, mate guarding, and it's like what Tico talks about with his family members, his female family members being very protective over him. It's
Hmm.
like you can't really compete with a woman's ability to understand the social situation and be like wanting to protect a man. It's kind of like when like another woman approaches a married woman's husband, and she kind of like looks her up and down, and she's like, oh yeah, she's not a threat. Or okay, I gotta okay, honey, what's this over here? Try to distract him.
Hmm.
That kind of stuff happens all the time in heterosexual relationships. And I from the guy to the woman, I'm like, wow, that seems very non. That's almost like heteronormative in our culture, is to like tell men you have to go out and do stuff in order to maintain your maintain your relationship. But it's not the same as what Mr. Form was talking about.
Well,
Mhm.
Yeah,
no,
it's
because
like
at the
you
end
gotta
of the day, it's a
sympathy.
total different. It's totally different because, like I was saying, you have to maintain everything in your fucking life, no matter what. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
what you
All right.
do. You're gonna have to maintain it. Like let it be your car, let it be your house, let it be your business, let
mhm.
it be your bank account, let it be your fucking your way of life. You have to maintain it no matter what. So, I mean, I'm not saying date a woman, but I'm just saying like it's the same thing.
I'm not saying put a hole in your head, but
Yeah, I'm not saying put a hole in your head or anything like that. I'm not saying date
You
a
have to
woman. I'm just saying
maintain.
it's
You
the
have to
same
maintain
fucking thing.
everything in your
Because
life, no matter what,
at the end of the day, I'm
or
willing to
shoot
bet you
yourself
any
in the
money.
foot.
I'm willing to bet you any money right now that Mr. Former probably puts more money in his business than he's ever put in any woman.
oh yes, yeah, that's with any man.
Mr. Former is a wonderful man.
Yes,
And
he
then
I'm
is.
willing to
love
bet
is
any money he put more money in his business than he put in any other woman.
And then the wealth is a terrifying premise because it seeks to affirm the idea that a woman can do more for you than like your own a privately owned business can, which is just
Right.
dog shit.
Total
It's
farce.
absolute dog
Total
shit.
farce.
Because
That's how you
if
take
you
the
let a
hole
woman
in the
take over
head
your life, if you let a woman take over your life and you try to maintain a woman, your business is going to go down fucking hill.
That's
Well,
how you.
If you-
some men
Let me
think
take
it's
it even a
position
little
of power.
further.
Well,
If you-
hold it. Well,
Go ahead.
before
You
you go,
first.
it's like some men see that as a position of power. Like, oh, she's the boss. She handles everything in my life, and
That's not
like,
true.
that's
Not
my
the fucking
position of power.
boss.
That's not true
Fuck
power.
her.
Maybe
Not the boss.
if you're in like Jewish culture, that might be power, but otherwise,
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That's,
By
no.
giving, here's the thing: by giving
Go
your
ahead.
woman all of your, your thinking ability and making her the queen of your land and everything like that, all you're doing is creating your own master. You're creating a master for yourself, and that master, you're giving the keys to your castle to.
And
Bingo.
also, what you're also doing as well is you're creating an approach to take the hole in the head approach, preferably between a 9mm or if you're really
Two.
very good at
If you really
handling
want to
that
get the
kind
job
of
done, use the 12
equipment,
gauge.
5.56mm or potentially even a 50 cal. Who
5.56.
knows?
Hey, look, if you want to make sure the job gets done, get fucking double that buck shot. Get double that buck
30-06.
shot. 30-06, double that buck shot, 50 cal, 357. Anywhere above
just-
9.
yeah.
Anybody,
Or just
anywhere
pay-
above.
Or just pay somebody, maybe
Right.
even like somebody on the panel,
I mean,
but
it's
yeah,
the same-
whatever.
I mean, it's the same
I'm
There's
an
thing.
many-
OG.
Literally,
You
they play
can't
on
do
the
that.
panel.
I can't do that.
You
On
want me to
many
get
different-
some
no
bullets in his
firearms
coffin?
here.
I mean,
No
yeah, it's
firearms
the
Many
same
different
thing.
ways to skin a cat.
Yeah, for
Right.
real.
There's only one
if
way
you
to hold the
pay
tail.
somebody on the panel,
No
it's
cats
the
were
same thing
harmed
as paying
in the
your
making of this video.
Literally.
I love
Like
cats
you
personally.
I'm allergic
I
to
do
cats
not.
personally.
Susan,
I
Susan,
hate cats.
I'm
I
allergic
fucking
to cats.
hate cats.
Susan Wojcicki, okay? Don't
Oh
get
my
any
god, I
ideas.
hate cats.
It's all in jest, Susan Wojcicki. All in jest.
Would you?
Don't get any ideas.
Cats are
Calm your
fucking
farm.
psychotic.
Cool your
It's all,
jets.
it's all true.
Fuck the cats.
Yeah, I've never met I've never actually found a cat that wishes to serve me and loves me unconditionally the way a
No.
dog
I've
is.
met a cat
but the
that's
thing is
actually
like-
quite compassionate.
the-
I've met
the
a
thing
cat
is like
before.
I project what a dog should be onto a cat because that's my a priori domesticated, pet knowledge. But like
I've
owning
actually
a
met a
cat
compassionate
is
cat.
owning a cat is different, completely different. Owning a cat is like having another roommate that basically doesn't do shit and you always need to feed.
No, it's like,
And you got to clean up after them.
Yeah, and they don't like
owning a cat is like
touch
getting
them.
married. You know? Owning a
Right,
cat is
don't
like
touch
getting
them.
married. Right, pretty much. It's like being married.
Don't do
That's
it.
pretty much owning a cat is.
Just don't do it.
It was an
Don't do it.
exception to
It's
the
like an
rule.
anti-Nike commercial. Just don't
And not
do
to
it.
mention, that's so crazy that Wynn said that because that's exactly what it does. Like the fungus in most domesticated cats waste is like actually brainwashes you into being like a rat or being like a mouse. So it's like
Yeah.
basically a cat is like a precursor to a relationship.
Yeah.
Which is why I think it's used in a trope. It's used as a trope in a lot of movies in that way. Like for like men who are loners, they often have cats. And then like on the opposite end, it's like if you own a dog, that's almost like the opposite. It's like you have a companion that loves and serves you all the time, but it doesn't really ask you to do a honey to-do list. It's like you can even be like, all right, sorry dog, we can't eat for 24 hours because I was too lazy to go to the store. It's like, all right bro, I'm down, whatever you got, man.
I still love you.
You got some bread or something? I'm
But
cool with that.
but Nicole,
I mean, I will not let.
Is that a bone in your pocket?
not all cats are like that, but
Yeah, Nicole. Yeah. No, there are some good
Nicole.
cats out there. There's some good cats out there, But
Yeah.
you got to learn how to like actually coexist with the cat, because or otherwise you'll get scratched.
Or you're Chinese.
Or you're Chinese and you don't code.
We as the Tico Tren channel, we do not condone any of this language that is going on right now. We
We
love
love
and
China.
support the Chinese culture. We do not
Yep.
condone their government, but we support their culture. And
I like the Chinese people. No, I love the Chinese
Even though they
people.
gave us the virus.
I just
even
don't
though
like the
that's
CCP.
why I said I don't support the actual government, but I support the people.
No, the
Okay.
people are great. I love the people.
The people are lovely. The people are lovely.
I can't stand the CCP.
Unless you're mainland Chinese, then it's a whole nother story.
No, even the mainland Chinese. Like,
Well, no,
quite
not
a
the ones
few
that
of
take
them-
a shit in the middle of the street like they own the damn place.
No, they don't. No, they don't. I used to live there. No, they don't.
No, I'm talking about the ones when they travel abroad. They tend to do that shit in the middle of the street.
Oh, those
Especially in
ones.
LA. Oh my
Yes.
God, LA.
Yes,
is
yes,
Yep.
yes. But the ones like in mainland China, like no, they don't steal your
Well,
shit. They don't steal your
that's
stuff.
because their government's a little strict, just a little bit.
It's also not in their culture to do that.
Yeah, well, they got rules they got rules to do. They got rules for they're the only country in the world that got rules for their travelers. If they travel to other countries.
Japan is a close second.
Oh, I'll give them that.
Wait, I have a quick question. Is our logic and imagination mutually exclusive?
No,
No.
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 Please elaborate.
Like I said, imagination could mean that you have playful creativity or you could have directed creativity. Your logic allows you to design something new because it has a purpose. There's an intent behind it, which is focused. Unfocused creativity is purely in its own realm, detached from logic. Like, say,
Oh, so there's a
role-playing as a kid.
creativity
Like role-playing as a
attached
kid, for
to that.
example.
Okay,
Right.
got it, yeah.
You're like, oh, look, I'm a dinosaur. There's no logic behind that. You're just role-playing as a kid. It's got no logic behind it. You're not a dinosaur. Yeah, you're a bipedal creature, but you're not a dinosaur.
It's like playing a free roam game and doing nothing, not one of the missions or anything like that.
But if your logic does meet up with your creativity, then most likely you're going to design something, which again, it's purposeful and it's directed and focused.
Because I was analyzing, you guys were talking about culture and like civilization and like where imagination kind of, in my mind, goes into culture and like all of the different mythologies and deities and stuff that kind of precede culture. Whereas like civilization
mythos,
follows a very
the mythos.
logical path. Yeah, whereas like civilization doesn't really have a mythos, it has history, which is like
Yeah, but
rewriting
history is still built off a mythos. They're not mutually exclusive.
No, right. No, exactly. That's what I was.
It depends
trying
on
to
who's
say.
writing the history.
With logic and
There's
imagination.
even if the history was rewritten, there's still a mythos behind it. It's a story.
Yeah, but there's also a purpose behind history in the same way. Like there's also a purpose behind history in that it does draw a certain narrative of the area that it's talking about. Like if you think not like world history or like biblical history, the way theologians try to set a stage for past ideas is kind of like they use parts of their imagination in order to create that. Granted, they do use some contextual clues and like historical artifacts in order to like set the stories into a place, like a physically identifiable place. But there's also a lot of like unproductive creativity or what is it? Or like stifled creativity in some of the interpretations of biblical standards, biblical stories and stuff.
That's dogma. That's when dogma limits creativity.
Yeah, dogma. Okay, I can sort of understand that better now. And, I mean, yeah, it's not really creativity at all. More so, it's just like people falling in line with someone else's like grand design of what something can be interpreted as, and that person maybe has used some creativity in terms of setting that like a a Jamestown, for example, or a Jim Jones example, because, or like the the Heaven's Gate people or whatever.
Oh,
They
yeah,
use
I
like a
remember
lot of
that.
they use a lot of different stories and story.
There was more to it than that. There was more to it in that particular case.
Well, yeah. Do elaborate.
Prime example of
he had
who wrote the
CIA
history.
backing. He had CIA backing.
Mhm.
And I think there were psychedelic drugs involved in that operation too.
Mm.
And he didn't do what he did purely on his own. He had training. I think he actually did have training for that before the event.
What's that reference I keep telling you guys about? MK something.
MK Ultra.
There you go.
But like I was saying, like that's, I guess, I don't know. I don't want to make the stream too esoteric and focused on the esoteric.
Half the people in here are esoteric any damn way, so it doesn't really matter. We're all esoteric. We're pretty much all esoteric.
I
featured some of his work on my channel before. You guys, have you seen some of Thomas Sheridan's work, or do you?
Well, I was actually talking about some of them. What do you guys think about TikTok?
TikTok is a form of what, in the occult sense, or like just in general?
In line with what we're discussing, like it's a
self-hexing. It's a self-hexing. It's a self-hexing. I'll explain why.
All right.
One, it's owned by the Chinese, first of all. So by participating in that particular platform, you're basically identifying yourself to the Chinese government, first of all. Secondly of all, again, you're making yourself identifiable by lowering your level of consciousness to that animalistic, look at me, I'm dancing on a hospital bed, for example. That's the level of consciousness a lot of these users are at. And that's what these people are doing. They are deconstructing themselves to such an animalistic consciousness.
They're collectivizing under
But they're collectivizing under basically something that's a self-hex, because they're redirecting that animalism onto themselves to identify themselves to the Chinese government.
Well, think about it. We can't even say that we are attracted to somebody in a workplace setting without getting like HR'd, or without everybody else freaking out. So it's like, if most of mankind is in this 9-to-5 working slog or something, it's like we need something to basically foist our sexually repressed energy onto, and whether it goes up or down in terms of our like chakras is of no concern to us, because we have no knowledge of that in the first place. So a thing like TikTok is basically that. It is like a vacuum for a lot of that energy that could be used productively, just to go into TikTok? Something where it's like, well, actually, it's like a short clips. It's like Vine. It's like short clips in Vine. But go ahead.
So basically, it's the new Vine.
It's basically, yeah. Go look at AJ's channel right now. You'll figure out what it is very quickly.
I want to say something. Like, when I don't have TikTok downloaded. I look at TikTok compilations on YouTube. I look at it as a way of examining the collective of society. Like if you like I look at the MiGTOW compilations, and I look at the compilations from all around, and I take those and I gather collectives on what I see. Now, from what I see, how people debase themselves, it's basically a way to be used to connect an understanding of the society. I think we're going to be invaded. If you ask me, with TikTok, we're going to be invaded. This is that simple. Because we're giving the mindset of the typical American public to somebody else. so that they can then use that against.
Well, we're giving off. Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
the sad part
we're giving
about that,
our money.
we're actually not giving off a typical American public. That's not the typical American public. That's a small majority of the people in America. Just like feminism is a small majority of the people in America. Just like MiGTOW is a small majority of people in America. It's not your typical group of people. So that we need to like throw out the fucking window really quickly. When people say that shit, because that pisses me off when you say we're a large. We're this, we're that. Like all these groups, everything that we're talking about and everything that we're in and around is literally a small fraction of the whole entire economy for the most part, or the whole entire ecosystem of America for the most part. The best way to put it. We're all in the ecosystem.
I stand corrected. A general.
But in line with what Wynn's talking about, I think that I feel like it's kind of like it's not natural, but I think it's like a trait we've picked up from like another domesticated.
Basically, that's all it is. It's me. Look at me.
It's narcissism. It's narcissism.
Look at me.
It's pathologized narcissism created and socially engineered by machines.
The narcissism isn't like a.
And Edward Bernays. It all goes back to Edward Bernays. Systems.
It would have started without MySpace.
Well,
it started way before that.
It started before MySpace.
It started a century before that.
Yeah,
Look at Edward Bernays. It started a century before that.
Yeah, plus TikTok's been around for quite some time. It's only been around in the American public for a short period of time. And the sad part about that is, at the end of the day, all it pretty much does is basically put you on Front Street to make you look stupid for the most part and for attention. I view TikTok the same way I view the casting couch in Hollywood with Harvey Weinstein. That's literally how
like I said, I think it's funny that you mention him because I think it's almost like we've picked this up from another domesticated livestock, like the mud bathing pig, in order to blend in and stifle the scent of being different and being an individual. We essentially decided to go into our own. It's almost like self-hexing before you go out into a world of a satanic world or a demonic presentation of the world.
But it's also, on top of that, it is not just only a self-hex. It's a form of sorcery in the sense that they are socially engineering you according to their will. They are imposing their will on your nature.
Yeah, and on top of that, TikTok's just nothing more than another way to do it to you, basically. Oh, you're not on YouTube? Try TikTok. Oh, you're not on Facebook? Try TikTok. Oh, you're not on Snapchat? Try TikTok. If you're not on this, try this. Basically, and if you're not on TikTok, you're probably on one of them other platforms that I'm talked about already. So either way, you're being basically bitch smacked into like conformity for the most part. That's all it really is. You're being bitch smacked into conformity. Basically,
well, I think about it a lot.
Basically, you're a bitch, and social media is your pimp.
Social media is your religion because it occupies your consciousness.
Yeah, social media is like, go get my money, bitch. And a lot of y'all,
for example, there's a certain individual who is particularly popular in one particular part of the sub-manosphere. If you want to classify one channel as that, is a guy with a kind of a caddy golf hat, and he's a very limp dude. He's very well known. His name is Elias Melas. People make him relevant because they focus on him so much that he becomes a symbol of their consciousness. It's like, they occupy not only their consciousness, but like people make that part of their reality. Like it's worship. It's
almost like mind control.
It is
a systematic worship, narcissistic obsession of this one individual. Yeah, sure, that individual produces shitty content. Is a bit of a shitty person.
It's along the same
He's been
lines
caught
of
doxing people before, but apart from that, if people let that be, he wouldn't be as relevant today.
it's along the same lines of, when you tell a girl, hey, look at this video, and she goes, how many views does it have? How many subscribers does that person have? That shit doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. That
Who's
it's
watching it right now?
irrelevant.
What is that? What is it worth? Yeah, like what can I gain out of it?
They don't
Exactly.
even think it's not even. They don't even think about what can I gain out of it. It's basically how many subs did that person have? Because I'm not going to watch it if they don't have subs and views. Basically,
Mhm.
and this is why a lot of people actually hide their subscriber count and shit like that. It's like mysterious. Like, I wonder how many subscribers he has.
Mhm.
In reality, is who cares? Who the fuck
cares
cares?
how many
Who
subscribers
cares?
he
Who
has?
cares? It
Are
doesn't
we
matter,
doing
but
this?
people-
Are we doing this for
Kind of
views? No,
subconscious.
we're
Kind
doing
of
it to save
subconscious
fucking
too.
men.
Yeah,
But
like I
they're
don't give a damn. I
trying
don't give a damn about. I don't give a damn. I mean, I care about my subscribers, yeah, because they're the ones that tend to show up all the damn time to my live stream. But at the
Right.
same time, why do I care how many subs somebody else got? The
It's
question
like
is,
she's there with you up in the.
because like, and the sad part about this,
Yeah.
I'll get this in a message from somebody else. Like, somebody will send me a message. I ain't gonna say no fucking names. They'll go, oh well, did you check out such and such? No, why? Oh, we have such and such X amount of subscribers. You should check them out. I don't give a fuck about his subscriber count. The
Yeah.
question is, does he have a good message? Is he consistent?
What is
If
his
he's not,
content?
what is his content?
I
If
mean,
he's not-
there's
I've seen motherfuckers with 100,000 subscribers, and I've watched the video, and I felt like I just shot myself in the fucking head, like legit.
Yeah. And
Like,
you get
I
bored
mean,
of shit.
you want that
just
time
don't
back?
care.
the people that I tend to push have a message, like there's a person that I've been watching for a couple weeks, he has a pretty good message. I mean, I would like to have maybe I'll talk with him, but
I know you're talking about. Yeah, no, sweetheart. Definitely, he's definitely a good person to talk to.
right, and
I
there's a
actually
few
like
other
his content a lot.
No, sweetheart. He's like, they don't respect your grind for your own happiness. I was watching the pursuit of happiness of my son. He makes like the best video. Like that was
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been trying to evolve my content, with it, as best as I can. Trying to maintain the same quality. I'm gonna always have a message.
Well, Mr. Foreman, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Well, if we start talking about the like and subscribe, guys, then we'll start bitch smacking everybody in the manosphere and plus everybody else outside the manosphere if we did that.
Like the video.
There's too many people that say that in their fucking intros and have that in their intros. And to like remotely try to talk about that without having to catch some heat. Like, I don't care about catching heat, but I'm just saying.
I think that's just generic at this point.
Respect who actually say like and subscribe. I'm just saying.
I feel like the like and subscribe
I don't feel like catching heat from all my
ideology is
favorite
very
content creators. Like, you're
it's very anti-lurker, which I like. I think most of our audience is a lurking audience. So it's like and subscribe is like very anti-lurker.
Well, no, because at the end of the day, like and subscribe. I like and subscribe for channels like who says that a lot? What the fuck is his name?
Think Before You Sleep.
Think Before You Sleep.
He needs more. Yeah, y'all need to go like and subscribe to him.
Think Before You Sleep. Better Bachelor does it too. Undead Chronic says it sometimes. Every now and again, you'll hear Sandman say it when he's talking about like throttling. And
he just says ding the bell. A lot of people say ding the bell.
Yeah,
it's the same.
It's the same thing technically because you technically got to subscribe till you can ding the bell. So he's basically taking an extra step basically by saying that, cutting out the middleman. It's just stuff like that. So I actually like those content creators. So for me to start bitch smacking like content creators that say that, then like I'm pretty much going to be bitch smacking. And on top of that, I think True Sherm actually says it in his new channel right now, and he's trying to grow some actual stuff. So go check his ass out too. But I'll be bitch smacking True Sherm if I said that too.
Damn, Sherm, nice channel.
He needs more subs. He needs more subs too. He does actually. He actually deserves his subs.
Damn, Sherm, you're channel thick, bro.
Me, the only thing you'll get out of me is like when I have a message that really needs to be sent out, I will tell people to share it. They don't have to like and subscribe to me. I don't give a flying fuck. You know. I mean, if it's a message, share it. You know, if the message, I will try to put a message out there that is like, wow, I just thought of this, and people really need to hear this shit.
That's going to be my new intro from here on out. America's Now. Ring the bell and make me a sandwich. Stop playing.
Ring the dinner bell.
Make me a fucking sandwich.
Shit.
It's so funny how you tell a woman to make you a sandwich and she'll freak out. Like she just is like serving a man does not compute. I
tell my girl to make a sandwich all the time.
Error
serving
a man, this does not compute.
I must
that sandwich I was talking to y'all guys.
I must only serve
Somebody
women.
better be making me a tuna sandwich right now. Shit.
Yo, you know what? I always make it a job in my day to call out women supporting other women as just utter bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they're the biggest.
Here's how bad it is in my house. If I ask for a sandwich, any three of my daughters will make me a sandwich, and the Cartel Princess will make me a sandwich.
The Cartel Princess is a wonderful.
So you have like 8 sandwiches.
I knew he was going to say that. Cartel Princess is a wonderful woman. Yeah, my daughter Tashari or Kieran would make me a sandwich. My daughter Talia would make me a sandwich. Hell, Lazo would try to make me a sandwich.
Nice try, Junior. Nice try, Junior. Got a few years to go.
I can't reach that shelf. We're gonna have to get him a little footstool.
Yeah, he does.
A lot of young women are like this, or like not young women. A lot of young females are.
Poor
like
little
this.
vertically challenged kid.
I
can't reach the mustard, Daddy.
It's okay, son. You're just a little pocket rocket. That's all.
He cracks me up. Yeah, he's
like,
small as hell for
if I ever see like an older gentleman buying like an 18-pack of beer or something, like I never know what to expect. Like maybe he's going to a party, but maybe he's just like, you know, gonna hang out with some buddies, just not really like thinking about doing anything reckless, just like enjoying a nice beer, sitting back. But if I see that woman coming through the line with some Hoga pants and like the matching top pantsuit, and she's buying like liquor and
Hoga
margarita,
pants.
I'm like, oh, I know what you're doing tonight. I pretty much know exactly what you're doing tonight. Mm. Or with the low cut shirt and everything, and they're buying the liquor and stuff. It's like, oh, I can't find my ID. I'm like, oh, you probably left it at the dispensary that you just were at too. You know, it's like I basically can like read right through them. And then like,
I didn't bring my ID. I wonder why. Miss, I ain't got no pockets on my Hoga pants.
Exactly. Like you're basically fucking yourself from the moment you leave your house. Like, how can
we say that that's a COVID moment of like certification of idiotic dumbassery?
Yeah, I wish that was a COVID. I wish that was certified right there.
We're fucking jungly savages. That's all I gotta say.
You're in a pandemic with no goddamn identification on you, but in a pandemic, and you're literally thinking that this is real life right now. And like it kind of like the way that we started out this forum is we were talking about liability and reliability in transportation and in vessels. And like and what I wanted to say is like if you are in a sniper spot, you don't want to don't bring a lady into your sniper spot because she's going to be sitting there asking you, why are you sitting around doing nothing? Why is there nobody around?
Shut up, Jessica. I'm trying to be a sniper, Jessica.
I'm right there. We should put.
Why are you looking in the scope all the time? Why don't you look at me? Why don't you pay attention to me?
Who misprogrammed
Stop
you?
Stop sniping. Who hurt you? Why are you trying to snipe that guy? What did he do to you?
Jessica, I'm trying to focus. Okay, Jessica. Shh.
Shush! I'm trying to get a headshot. You know. And I think And then at the same time, they're like that way to you. But then if a woman crosses the two of yours path, and you're like, that woman is on some other shit. She is a dumbass, or she's just like, look at those hogan pants. Then she's like, defends her. She's like, well, what if she wants to wear that? What if she wants to do this? Why like, who hurts
She's
her?
trying to look pretty.
She's trying to look pretty. Why can't she look pretty? Or why can't she spend all that money on ice cream and Doritos? Like, she should be able to do what she wants. And I'm like, that's okay.
She's free. She's independent.
Independent.
She's independent. Independent, you know.
In-dependent, more like it.
Throw your hands up at me, bitch.
Yeah. But that's anybody got any more thoughts?
No thoughts. I don't want any thoughts.
No
Thank you
thoughts.
very much. Fuck you and your thoughts.
No
No
thoughts.
thoughts.
No thoughts. No thoughts.
Hose mad. Hose mad. No thoughts.
Thoughts gone. Thoughts gone. Yeah, that's what I literally like. Jaguar just like made me look at life in a whole new way now. I literally empty my mind of thoughts, and the thoughts in the real life, they disappear. Like, they just disappear out of my consciousness.
Mhm.
Leave the thoughts out of your thoughts.
It's like a blessing. It's like I know how to hold on to a blessing, and I'm not trying to give it to a woman. But
Thoughts mad.
yeah, that's probably gonna be my the pretty much the extent of my contribution today. I got called in early. So we're gonna. So I'll probably have to take my leave, gentlemen. I hope that you're able to make the rest. Are we gonna end this pretty soon, or are you guys thinking?
I'm gonna pass out. I'm really tired. It's 4:18 in the morning.
We're probably
Yeah,
Oh,
I think we
Edward
got some
Bernays.
good
Edward
content here.
Bernays. Edward. Hold on before you go. Edward Bernays.
We still gotta do outros. We still gotta do outros.
You know, before you do an outro, I just wanted to say real quick, shout out to Chronicles AJ. Those videos that you posted up today, man, fucking hilarious. Laughing my ass off this morning.
Yeah, TikTok.
That's TikTok?
Yeah, that's TikTok he's using.
Oh my god. All right, stop using TikTok, but your videos are fucking hilarious.
Well, I'm saying it when I was
trying to do an outro. He doesn't even do an outro. He just left.
When I was saying,
Damn.
He's like,
well, I'll do
fucking-
it. I'll do it for him. But what do you?
You know what? Do mine
What
too. Then.
AJ's doing?
Another
What
contract.
AJ's doing? Yeah, you can leave. You can leave too.
No, I don't want to leave. I want to hear him.
Oh, okay. He's hexing himself. Like, he's putting a hex in order to, because he has to like navigate in the he has to navigate the environment, and he's like a scientist. He's like a real scientist. Dr. AJ. He should change his channel to Dr. AJ, because he's actually performing like
Chronicles
Miracles.
of Dr.
Dr.
AJ.
AJ, nice.
yeah, Chronicles of Dr. AJ. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I think that's what he's
Definitely.
doing. Because he's more intelligent than most of the fuckers on there. I just hope that he maintain. I know he can probably maintain that without TikTok really having anything to do with it. But China is in his ass though if he's doing TikTok. But I mean, it's I can't really say. I gotta clean up my own Chinese infiltration of my own life before I start trying to tell other people how to avoid China infiltration. Because it's like everybody in America is basically under the eye of China.
Especially if you're in New Jersey. They got drones from China checking your ass out.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is this is the Baron Yam. Keep moving forward. Subscribe to my channel and the channels of the people who are in last night's live stream and today's live stream. This is Jaguar Media. When in doubt, save the spunk. Just go monk. And don't follow dogma. just avoid that hog, ma, and don't be slog, duh. And use your imagination and your creativity productively and be discerning gentlemen.
I love this.
This is why I contracted out.
This is
It's the best.
this is the lost dad. This is the lost dad. We're gonna use our segues to segue out of the construct because we do not support the supporting of thoughts. And that part right there is something that everyone should understand. Have a blessed day, gentlemen. Be safe, be good, and do what makes you happy. This is me hiding my emotions very well. But yeah, that's the Lost Dad. Go check the Lost Dad out. He will expand your mind in terms of understanding what human beings are capable of on the planet Earth. They're not just men don't exist just to serve women. They have other applications for our passions and our creativity in life. And so explore that on the Lost Dad channel.
I love it. I love America's DeVille.
Thank
I
you.
got something for China. These nuts.
Hashtag these nuts.
America's.
America's
Shout out to
DeVille.
America's DeVille. Always out there. Always
I got
being
something for
supportive.
China. These nuts. You got it in all caps and shit.
Wow.
Hashtag these nuts. I'm putting that on. I'm gonna make a TikTok channel. I'm gonna call my name These Nuts.
These nuts. Ha! Got it. Got
And
it.
like,
Oh Lord.
we analysts are following Tico Tren channel. They say that these nuts. We do not know what this is. North Korea correspondent. Do you have any intel on this? Oh, Dennis Rodman said these nuts means his scrotum. Okay. Thank you, North Korea.
Wow.
Thank you, North Korea.
We declare war on
But-
Tico Tren.
We declared war on Tico Tren.
On these nuts.
Tico must go down.
Alrighty. I guess I got to do my outro, right?
Yeah.
Unless you contracted out the M.
This is Big Down to Win.
He's thinking about it.
This is Big Town to Win. Jaguar, go get yourself like an antelope. Carry it up if you need it. Yam, put your roots in some nutrient soil and don't forget to water them. Don't let your roots get crispy. And keep your legs in the natural sunlight. Double I, aka
Yes, sir.
Lost Dad.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget your eye drops. And don't forget to leave a compass for your kids.
Yes, sir.
Tico Tren.
Yes.
Keep the wheels on the tracks. And don't get high. Yeah, you know what I want to say. But I can't say it. I can't say it.
Who's being held hostage? Is it Tico or is it Win? I'm confused right now. Or is it Double I? Or is it me? Just the
I just
hostage
said
stream.
Tico Tren. Keep the wheels on the tracks. Still on the tracks. And don't get what should not be named.
Wow.
¿Cómo se dice? ¿Cómo se dice?
Signing off.
En español?
Right? right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a nut.
Oh,
This is
man.
Por favor,
your boy
por favor.
Tico Tren.
Ayúdame, ayúdame.
Ayúdame.
Ha 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 ha.
If you don't know,
Oh shit! Yeah, it was a
Big
nut.
Town, Win, I'll teach you some Spanish, man.
Right?
Ayúdame.
An American reading the comments. Ja, 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 ja. What?
Right.
What does this mean?
Ja, 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 right.
Shit.
Ja,
Doing
ja, ja.
this shit, I might be trilingual. Doing this shit, I might be trilingual.
Are we
You know?
Jamaican? Are we Jamaican? Are we praising the Ja? No.
Yo, sorry,
Ja,
don't
ja,
man.
ja, ja.
Don't
We
man.
created the job.
And
Praising the
and
Ja.
knowing this shit, after I'm done, after I get caught, I might be trilingual after this.
And to be honest, and this is Tico, Tren, aka the Internal Sadist. It's a pleasure always serving you guys. Remember, go your own way, be your own person. Never simp for a woman. Never. And unlike what that heifer said, simping is not kingship. It's some bullshit. Okay. And always better yourself, and always improve yourself, and always do you, and spoil the fuck out of yourself. If you want to go out and have a steak, just go out and have a motherfucking steak and treat your motherfucking self, basically.
Find your
Basically,
happiness. Get your cheese.
Show and take yourself out.
Take yourself out to dinner.
But this is
for yourself.
And also go sub to True Sherm, and go sub to No Sweetheart.
And Janky, get in the damn live stream with us already. God damn.
God damn it, Janky.
I switched back
What the
almost
fuck?
a fucking 2 hours.
Don't make me have to get a contract out on you, Janky.
No, but y'all have a blessed one, and be good, and be good to yourselves, and treat yourselves. And we are